So I was asked to come and have a meeting with Susan Graham about potentially directing a show, and that show turned out to be the Duchess of Gerolstein. Susan and I have had several conversations about how we want to approach the role of the Duchess together, and I think we're coming at it from the same angle. I think historically you can look at the piece and it can be played by an older singer or someone who's not quite as vibrant, young and sexy as Susan is. And so in creating the whole show, we've gone down a route whereby it's built around exactly how appealing Susan Graham is, which of course is very appealing. We're playing her as a vibrant, sexy woman. In looking for a place to set the production of the Duchess of Gerolstein, I took several things into consideration. I've directed operetta before. I've done The Merry Widow, I've done Fledermaus, and one of the things that I did with those productions, which is similar with this one, is you have to find a way to make it resonate for the audience. I think operetta works best when it's performed in a way that's accessible or in the idiom of the audience who you're playing it for. We needed to find a place where all the hierarchies of generals and privates and this Duchess who's kind of a big patron of the of the army, where all those things could work. And so what we've done is we've created what we're calling the Gerolstein Military Academy. So we've created a world where there are soldiers in training, there's an officer structure, and there's the Duchess who's a patron of the institution. So what we've done is we've created this microcosm, and we've done it in a very North American idiom. We've moved it so it's a military academy at the turn of the last century. And one of the things that enables us to do is, in concert with how we're trying to portray the Duchess with Susan, keeping it younger, we're able to, and of course we have the fabulous apprentice singers here in Santa Fe, we're able to bring the age demographic down so that we can have soldiers who look like they should be soldiers, who are, we have track and field events going on, we have kind of military war games. I mean, the story is about the Duchess being bored and looking for love, and so they create these war games as a diversion for her, and she falls in love with a soldier who's not really in love with her. It's an approach that I don't think has been taken with the show before, and we're very excited by it because it gives us a lot of opportunities to really play and to have fun, and that's what the piece has to be. It's got to live in a very fun, upbeat way. I mean, there's a central truth to it. There's a truth of loneliness for the Duchess, who's seeking love and eventually finds it, but she seems to be looking in all the wrong places. And there's also a story of the underdog who turns into the hero. And so they're the two strands that we're looking for, and the world that we've put it in definitely lets us pursue that. So I was talking with Susan actually about the period and what she was looking for in terms of, what basically for a singer who spent a lot of time in trousers, and we're going to put her in a dress, really one of my starting points was, what kind of dress do you want to be in? And we looked through some references, and we discovered that kind of 1900, 1905 period was a very good period for Susan. Creating the journey for this show was about following logic. We started with the period because we realized that dress would look spectacular on Susan. So, okay, we're building the show for Susan. Let's not make any mistake about it. It's her piece, and she will be sensational in it. But once we got that, it was then a question of following the logic and discovering, where and what we could do with it. And that it was an enjoyable process. Not always easy, but always fun. The challenges in the Duchess of Gerolstein, one is making the character of the Duchess believable, credible, and such that we care about her. And we're doing that because we're doing an extended version of the show, which hasn't been seen in Santa Fe before, unlike the previous production, because more music came to light within the last 10 or 15 years. And so there are bigger finales, there are more opportunities to explore her psychology, such as it is. You know, there are lots of toing and froings, and there are, you know, several scenes, and there's a lot going on. And so one of the challenges is to make sure that we maintain the thread of narrative throughout. But I think that's what my work is mainly based on, is I consider that I'm a storyteller. The thing about the operettas that Offenbach was writing is there's generally some kind of point of satire to them. So if you're looking for a message, there is something there. It's you know, you could look at it in terms of, well, people with too much time on their hands and too much money create diversions that they really shouldn't. You know, you could say it's a satire on people who go to war too quickly, or too readily, or are too enamored of, over enamored of a military ideal. I first heard about New Mexico from my father, who traveled here in the 70s, and he has always maintained it is his favorite place on earth. And so when I got my first opportunity to come here and kind of discover what he was talking about, you know, because you're always like that when your old man tells you all these stories. And I got here and kind of went, wow, he's got it right. He completely got it right. It is the most magical place I can think of that I've worked in. I've worked in some very nice places, and if they're watching this online, absolutely no disrespect to you. But Santa Fe has, as a place, is just remarkable, and as an opera company has shown so much warmth towards me and in trusting me with Butterfly, which is kind of like the house show with Pearl Fisher's Grand Duchess of Gerolstein, that it absolutely is my favourite place in the world to work.